Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How come it still feel like that? We're gonna get started here in a second. We're gonna play some DVD. Yeah, we're gonna play some DVD. We're loading in. Hi. Let's see. Do we want to play Chaos? We can play Chaos. We'll play Chaos Shuffle today.
I've seen better days.
King is in the
That's for
lobby.
sure.
Matchmaking logged. Well, we have 5 minutes, friends. Let's play some Pokemon, I guess. I'm dead. Hi, Haven. Ooh, Stardew Valley. Do you like it? Then you'll like Animal Crossing probably too, like a farming simulator game. I was also gonna tell you to download Pokemon Unite because it's free. Oh, this is all covering my face. Okay. Hi, Haven. What's up, little man? What's up, little man? Stardew Valley looks like a game that would relax me. Um, we might benefit from Trick Room. So maybe we protect Trick Room. Late night game, you grind the game so yeah, like there's so much to do. Yeah, I can imagine you just like sit in your bed and you play until you're like done, you know? Dude, how was Mexico? Tell me about your trip. Missed on the Hypno. That's fine. So fun. You were there for like 2 weeks, huh? Bra, bra. Poltergeist. We're just gonna kill Poltergeist here. Let's see. Yeah, kill that Poltergeist. Almost 2 weeks. When's the last time you were there before now? What do we get here? Okay, there was a knockoff on the Citrus Berry. 2 or 3 years? Damn. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. Like, I'm sure you have family out there, and like, you have like a house to go to. Like, is there like a place you stay? Citrus Berry. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna just Dragon Claw this Executor, unless they. Won't be able to answer. No, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I wasn't gonna ask you too many questions. It's more like, I bet you have family there that you're staying with when you go. We're gonna protect here. Swords Dance. Okay. Yes, sir. So with Stardew Valley, is it like I know you have a farm, right? But I don't know if there's NPCs like in that world that you like can like meet. I want to get rid of this Citrus Berry on this green. This is a life orb or a Citrus Berry? No, it's a Citrus Berry. Wow, he finally got some kills on me. And we're gonna just intimidate him. GG's. I think we just Diamond Storm. Yeah. And we can parting shot the Grident. Okay. Because we resist. It's neutral damage. I think we just go for the Gramble kill. Yeah. No! Okay, I'm out of lobby jail. We just neutralized him. Send out Koraidon. We won. GG's. We haven't played a Pokemon match in a while. I like this song. I think we're gonna go with a flashlight build, low-key. Since we get like free perks anyway, like we know that Lightborn we don't have to worry about. And honestly, we can just play with Cake. We play with Cake. This is not the hair I like with him. I like him with his little birthmark on his face. That's so fucked up. What the fuck? Ooh, we got a big bulb. Hey friends! I'm sorry, I messed up. It was him. It's a Kaneki. A ghoul. They're looping Shaq. Look, they're looping. He's slow. We have to just rush the gen. I don't even know what my perks are. Oh, he actually got me. Yeah, get off me. Oh. Nice. Go. We need to, you guys need to heal, and I'm just gonna go into the gen. Go. I need to go back. He's on the gen. He's just sitting on the gen. I don't know what Detective's hunch. Okay. But okay, I can heal myself. It's haste. Oh, it's hope. I knew that. 10% speed bonus. He's just sitting on that gen still? He is on the gen. Why did he give up? He's just staring at the gen. Oh, botany knowledge is something else, not self-heal, right? I want to go play with him. I'm gonna go blind him. Girl, get out of my way. He gave up. That's all I wanted to do. And Nia's on a whole other gen. Damn, this guy really... He's kind of letting us do it, so I don't feel that bad. He's kind of just letting us. He gave up. Watch. Are you ready? Cheryl. Okay, I have to remember. Cheryl and Rebecca, they're two different women. He really gave up. Another flashlight. You know what? I'm just gonna keep blinding him, because why not? She's just standing on the shit. Aw, no more flashlight juice. Next flashlight. Me just bullying this killer is crazy. La 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 la. Oh, this one's much closer. Alright, I used all of the juice. GG's! I guess the ghoul didn't want to play today. Do you think he has no ed? He might have no ed. Let's see him. Okay, you can get the door. You want to get it so bad. I'm just gonna cleanse totems. This totem's cleansed. Why do you want to play with us? I know there's some totems over there by where he was standing. Should we just die to give him a kill? Guys, should we just die? Should we make a pact? Because he's still over here. Guys, we should make a pact. We should just all die. Everyone die. Everyone make a pact. We're all gonna die to the timer. Oh no, I fell. Guys, I'm just gonna let him get the kill. We should crowd around him. Everyone crowd around him. We just all stare. Everyone, come together. Come together, friends. Come. Come. Mr. Kaneki, please. Come. Everyone die for him. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna let him win. Everyone die. Everyone sack yourself. Do it. Hi. Hi. Oh no, don't fall. It's fine. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna time myself out. It's fine. Whee! Just for you, Kaneki. No! We did it. We gave Kaneki our souls. That was fun. Alright, hopefully we get a killer that wants to actually play. Wait, does Renato have a new costume? No? Nothing I haven't seen. Is it this? Oh, it might be this. Oh, did he get off? Oh no, robot didn't end. We're in a game. Will this Pokemon match take this one? Does he? No, he's gonna Thunderbolt or something. So wait, I'm gonna Gigaton Hammer, and then I'm going to... I mean, I think Love-Disc is the best switch here. Because my special defense is not high. Hold on. I think maybe it might be worth switching back out the Love-Disc and trying to kill the Forgon. Nice. That's fine. That's exactly what we wanted. And then we Dragon, Terra, Icy Wind, and we just try to kill the Porygon. Nice. Nice. Oh, she doesn't go for the Love-Disc? I'm so confused. I don't have time to play this game. Okay, there was a Thunderbolt coming, but not from who I thought it was. We're gonna kill the Porygon. And we definitely get this Icy Wind on the Appleton. There's a Dragon Pulse coming from you. But it's fine, we're just gonna slow you down, I guess. I can't keep playing. I'm sorry, I have to forfeit. I want to keep battling you. Alright, who is it this time? Oh, it's a Springtrap, so finna be sweaty. Sweaty! He came out of that door! We knew it too! I don't know what perks I have. Damn, Renato. It's Spine Chill. Resilience. Which I usually play with Resilience. And then I don't know the other two. Talita has Prove Thyself, I think. Come on, please. Come on, please don't come out of the store. Alright, we can go for the hook now. Ay, puta! Oh my god. He is somewhere around here. He's outside. Oh my god, he broke her. Is she behind me? I don't know where she is. I need to go get the hook. Okay, that's 2 gens. Come here, Renato! Here, I'm gonna heal right here. I'm gonna heal right here. Come here, V, come here. Double heal, double heal. Okay, good, good, good. We don't need to run. Look, he's already here. He lost me, so he goes for V. For the hook. I'm just gonna start this gen, I guess. I don't know what my other 2 perks are. No, why did Renato go for it? Why didn't V go for it? Nice. Nice, Talita. Get out of there. Why is she going back for him? Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here, come here. Ment, ment. Okay, ment, ment. I'm gonna go for hook. Did he just go into the door? He's probably watching hook, low-key. Where'd they get out? Go, go. Come, come, walk this way. No, this way, this way. Yeah, Renato, go in there. Go in there. Go in there. No, I'm right here. Hey, hey. He's coming. He's on V. Double heal. Renato, come here. What are you doing? Damn, catches the V. We need to get on a gen. I don't know what these perks are. Wait, off the record. Once you're unhooked or escaped from hook, 40 seconds. Perks allow disabled. Oh wait, wait. Gain endurance. Aura will not be revealed. Grunts of pain are reduced. Ooh, interesting. After being unhooked, blood rush. Oh, so 2 unhooked perks. Oh shit! Guys, I was reading. This guy doesn't know what any of these hooks are. are you all there? I was working on a gen. I'm running. Coming after me is crazy. Like, the tunnel is insane. I have resilience though, so I think I can go for this and be okay. He's here though. Of course this guy's dead. What is happening? Why are Thalita and Renato playing like that? They're playing so aggro. Didn't get the save. I'm gonna just try to finish this gen, I guess. Does he come? If he comes out of here, I'm leaving. No! Dude, Thalita, what are you doing? Come on, flash, save! Please! Girl! What is happening? Missed her. Yeah, go toward V. V needs to come over here immediately. Come on, V. We just need to pop this gen. I don't even care if I die. It's Chaos Shuffle, bro. Let's go immediately for the gen. I'm hitting the gen. Thalita went this way. Go back for her. Where's the Thalita? Where are you, girl? Oh my, why are you over there again? I'm just gonna unhook immediately as he leaves. He has no idea where I'm at. Pick her up. Once he picks her up, golden. Okay, cool. Oh, girl. Like, what are you doing? The way I'm not allowed to abandon though, even though I'm about to die. GG's! Guys, I hope one of you gets hatched. I mean, Lily is doing a little too much. Her and Renato playing so aggressively. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I actually don't want to play Shuffle, low-key. I'll just sit in Survivor lobbies. I feel like a lot of people are playing Shuffle, and I'd rather go with what I know. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, let's see what's fun. Okay, a natural tingle. Clear. Oh, get notified when the killer is looking at you. Your speed while repairing. Interesting. And then what was the other one I had? I had. I don't think I have that perk that I was using. What's this do? As soon as the gates are powered, you gain a 5% haste. Okay. But if we do we even get there? Like, are we even getting to the powered gates, guys? I guess that was my second chaos match. I let myself die in the last one. Alright, let's do chaos, I guess. Let's do it. Whatever. It was only the third game. No, this is the third game. Maybe we can play as a... Well, Gabe has the cake, so maybe we would just level her up. Like we've been doing.
How do we get out of here?
And then we can keep playing with Gabe. Look, she has so much shit now. Go back to Gabe. We didn't use our flashlight at all that match. I'm afraid to like start a Pokemon match because I won't have time to finish it. Like, I think I should just go ahead and play a Pokemon match, but... I'll just put the timer on. I think this is good to have. I say we just Fire Blast the Frogma and attack. It's leftovers, right? Or life orb. Oh my god. And I missed! Maybe I'm not destined to play Pokemon today. Yeah, like I have a water type in the background. You see? I don't even have time. I don't want to know. See, we don't have enough time. These battles take like 10 minutes tops. They're all so cute. Oh, the killer is not ready. Hold on. We're gonna just choose Orilla. Like I have 128 mistletoes. And I can't even use them. It's because of the snow skull thing. Two flashlights and whatever that is. Is that a key? Oh, the killer doesn't want to ready up. Okay.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Hey. Hey. Let's go. Where does Laura want to go? Oh, it's another spring trap, bro. Oh, he's over there. Oh, that's not him. I missed my toolbox. Hi. He's on Laura. I don't even know what perks I have. Oh, I have balanced landing. I have balanced landing. Oh wait, I think that Sable perk allows me to get an unhook in basement. If I know what the basement is, I can play around it. Nice, Laura. Come back here. Come. No, come here. Go, Meg, go! Go, Meg, go! Go, Meg, go! Come and get me! I'm gonna go for it so she doesn't get hooked. No. I need to know where the hooks are. Okay, hook there. Okay, I need to follow them. He went back to the gen. Wait, what's this? What's this? Rush vaults are silent. Okay, nice. And then what's this one? Deliverance. Oh, I know Deliverance. Okay, in the basement. Okay, basement. Hey. Oh, sorry, girl. I was reading. I'm so sorry, Meg. I was reading. GG. Let's go. I'm scared of that thing. Is she gonna go inside? She's looking through the cameras. Go ahead, girl. Okay, he's over there. Look at him, look at him. I can see him. Here he comes, here he comes. To basement, or to shack. He doesn't come for me, he goes for the Meg. He went inside. Okay, basement's right here. I can low-key loop him here if he comes for chase. Nope, he's on the other two. They stopped their gen. Oh, there's a Laura. Laura, leave, Laura, leave. I think the Laura can handle it. Come out of this door, please. Damn, it would be good to have this gen so I can get my perk. Oh, it's over here. There's a gen up there. It's okay, we're not far from the shack. We can low keep it. Shack. You know, fuck it. I'm just gonna use the toolbox. That's a tier 4. They're about to finish a gen, then I'ma finish a gen. Nice. This gen is so close to that gen, low-key. I thought I heard her crying. He wasn't far. Oh, he's back on her. Are they there? I don't even know where this is happening, this chase. I have no idea where they are. I'm afraid to milk that. Great skill check. Let's see. There's 2 doors he can come out of. No, he's just gonna chase her. I think they're upstairs. Oh look, he's up there. What does that mean there? A fog vial. Fuck it, let's see. Oh, that counted? I see them. I have to go back to Shack. Oh, he found her! He found Meg. Meg, how did I help you get out? I'm gonna just go for the gen. That's not even the gen they're working on. She is looping this shit out of him. Look at her. Nice. Oh, the blind too. She's eating him up. I need my exhaust to go away, and then I can take a jump or something. Come on, Vile, recharge, please. I wanna save Meg. No! Go through the fog. She's still being chased, bro. I'm gonna have to take good chase. Chase him. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. No! Go, go, go! That's fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. The door's this way, Meg! Meg, the door's this way! Meg! Laura, please! Laura, you have to save me! GG! Come on, Meg, get out. I need to know that Meg get out safe. Oh, yes, they're gonna get out. Period. I live. Good for you guys. GG's, friends. Good job, guys. Yes. The Megs are gonna get out. Oh, okay, Moonwalk. The Megs are getting out. Meg. Maury. GG. Good job, guys. This is when I wish I had game chat to be like, oh my god, GG's. That was scary.
I recognize it.
That type of TV, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have TV in my screen name now. Oh, we're in a match. Let's go. Hi guys. Hi guys. Who dropped the pallet? I'm sorry. It's a Vommy Mommy. Look at her over there. No, come back. Leon got scared of me. No, big boy. Big boy, no reason to be scared. Just stay on that gen. Damn, Laura. Laura's broken. Okay. Let me save Laura. We take the chase for her. Do we hit this gen? Oh, we hit this gen. Okay, get out of here. Go. Okay, yeah. You better chase Leon, bro. I think I'm gonna use her little fountain. Oh, she's already using this. I'm over here. Nice, Laura. I'm a bit to be broken anyway. Watch, I'm gonna wait for it to go. Oh, it only goes when I'm running. Okay, cool. Leon's also broken. Second gen done. I'm gonna go on this gen. I mean, I think that she gets a notification. Like, she sees that I drank the water. It's okay. Everyone's fine. I don't know how Laura's just dead. Leon, fuck. Alright. Nia, you literally have to go get her. You have to go get her, Nia. I can't get off this gen. Fuck, maybe I should get off this gen. I'm so bad. Big boy, you're so much better. I don't even know. Oh, I have breakout. Oh wait, no, that's not breakout. I have dark sense, and then I don't remember the last one, but it's a Yui perk. That might be shoulder the burden, which is I take a hook stage for someone on a hook. So Lara. No, Leon. It's fine. I'm gonna finish the gen. They're taking chase. I wanna read what it. Visionary. You see generators aura. Okay. Dark sense. Resurgence. 70% healing progress after being unhooked. Okay. And breakout. Leia, like I thought. I knew it was breakout. I'm gonna stand right by Leon. Leon got up. It's fine, it's fine. Oh my god, that's fine. That's not fine. Fuck! Shut! Fuck! Ah! You're a bitch. I hate you. Go get him. Go get the hook. Go get the carry. It's fine. Get him. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, Leon, go. Go, Leon, go. Go, Leon, go. I tried, Leon. I tried. You didn't see me? Leon's off hook. Oh my god, where do I go? Why is Leon off hook? Actually, I can afford a hook. Damn. She's gonna be greedy? Get her here. Yeah, go. Get out of here, ho. I don't want to throw up on this thing. It's gonna make it sick. I'm just gonna... It might be worth just getting those things sick. Leon should not be taking this chase. Touch the pallet. Nice. Okay. Leon got the unhook. W. Or did Epic just unhook herself? Wait, Nia, come here, please. Oh, Nia's on the chin. Okay, good. That's good. There's a pallet right here. Where's that Jen? Go be greedy. Go be greedy for a kill. She definitely saw me. She hits. She's gonna hit the Jen. She hit the Jen. She's back. She thinks I'm back there already. She should be throwing up on this thing, but... Come on, Laura, we got this. You're gonna hit the Jen? No, you're not. She must not have seen there were two people. Laura, do not loop back here. You're bad, bro. Give it up. She has no clue where I'm at. Throw up on that Jen. You won't. Back on the Laura. Laura. She's not happy with us. We kind of like fucked ourselves a little bit.
Oh! Oh!
No! It's okay, I can afford it. I can afford the hook. Girl, you're not gonna hook me. I'm just going right back on the Jen. Yeah, I'm already sick, girl. I don't really care. Laura, you have to lead her away from that. Laura, do not come back here. Laura! Laura, you can't! this way. Like, do you want me to finish the gen or not? She's literally gonna chase us. You have to take the chase out. I can afford to get sick because I'm already, yeah. Take the chase out, Laura, please. I mean, I know I can take a hook. That's fine. I can take a hook. 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 Hi, Star. What's up? How are you? Yes, the games are going so well. I mean, we're playing Chaos Shuffle, so it's a little chaotic. Yo, she just did it for me. No. No chance. No way. I won't say I'm in love. Laura, just hold it. I can hold. I can hold, Laura, if you can hold. Just stick on it. I can hold if you can hold. I'm gonna go drink out of this here. No, I'm drinking out of here, bitch. No, Laura! It was so close. I'm fully healed. You're a W. I'm going right for the door before I get Laura. Laura can hold. Like, doesn't even see me. Okay. No, Leon. Fucking nay, bro. Does she chase me? Pix. The other door's open. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. She's just hunting him. She doesn't even know I'm there. Okay, Leon, I got you. Leon, take a hit. Take a hit. Take a hit. No, Leon, you have to take a hit. Leon, take a hit. Laura, please. We're all coughing and shit. It's okay. GG's, guys. We did it! W team, we worked so well together, the four of us. Thank you so much for making sure we all got out, guys. We did so good, guys. Look at that. Look at that. GG's to the killer. The plague did not let us go without a fight. How was the birthday weekend? The birthday weekend was great.
The last thing I remember.
I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but I was in Chicago and we had dinner like with friends and it was great. It was a great time. And I saw this trend on TikTok that was like, you're supposed to record other people singing happy birthday to you. So I kind of did that while people were singing happy birthday to me at my cake. It was so much fun. We had such a good time. Yeah. How have you been? How's work? How's life? How's my Disney gay? Are you still streaming on TikTok? Like, are you still playing Marvel Rivals and stuff on TikTok? Yes, of course. Yeah. Here's the thing, like, my birthday's right after all the holidays, so I'm like already in this spirit. But the minute my birthday's over, it's like, I'm like very leveled out for the rest of the year. It feels, you know. Yeah, well, I still play Marvel Rivals, but I haven't streamed in a bit. Oh my god, you should totally stream on TikTok if you can. The goal is to try to get on TikTok live, but I haven't. I don't post on TikTok. Like, I don't post content, so it's hard to just get people there, and it's like not worth it, you know, unless I have content out. Are you liking Rivals? They had a major update, didn't they? This like recently, like, didn't they just add Deadpool to the game? They just added Deadpool, or is that not out yet? Excuse me. Excuse me. TikTok Studios updated to a bigger file size, and now my laptop CPU is too hard to stream. No way! Yeah, that season started today. Wait, that's awesome. Wait, okay, so is Deadpool DPS? Like, obviously, right? It would be crazy if he wasn't. I can only see him being like a support character, like a support. I can't imagine he's honestly, he could be a tank. Now my next goal to find something better to use to stream. Still my Xbox for games, but like a cheap PC or whatever. When I first started streaming, I was streaming off my laptop. He's all three. He gives tank. Like, he's kind of indestructible, right? Like, he's supposed to like take damage and like be able to like regen, right? Like, that's his kink. You know what I mean? I'm so happy you're here, Star. How's life been? Like, tell me about life. Different kid for each role, period. I kind of live, so it's basically 3 different characters. Yeah, he has a different career, and for comp, you have to ban all of them individually. That's crazy. So in comp, you can ban a character from being chosen. Interesting. They have the same like comp style for Pokemon Unite, which makes sense because it's like a Rumble style game. My teeth are like stained because of the wine. I've been drinking wine all night. No longer drinking wine. Oh, we got another Arella. I've been well though, nothing too exciting. Well, I'm glad you're going to Disney. Honorary Disney gay. But am I wrong? Am I wrong though? Correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Hey guys. Hey friends. Hi. It's not the same Laura. That being modded is also funny. Yes, the auto mod was insane. Because it said Disney. Or no, because it said gay. Oh, it's another spring trap though. Okay, we have decisive strike and balance landing. I don't know what that. I think that's adrenaline. I don't know what this fish is. How's your family, Star? How are your nephews? Or your nephew? Do you have one nephew? Hey, Arella, we have the same hair. Okay, Springtrap is out and about. No, no, you can run. He's upstairs. He's upstairs. Or maybe he's not upstairs. No, yeah, he is upstairs for sure. That Fung hasn't done a thing. Listen, it's Taco. I need you to get on a gen or something. Oh look, the gen is over here. Gonna get on this. There's a meme that says, Swifty, at least you're not a Disney doll, and I fear you're both. Ah! Not being G-word. Not I fear I'm both. That is hysterical, Star. You know what? I respect that you own that shit though. Like, you are truly the three. The big three. What are your big three? Gay, Disney, and Taylor Swift. Alright, Laura's here, but Springtrap was low-key following her. Oh, Rolla, my twin! No! It's fine, it's fine. I took the hit for her. I took the hit for her. I took the hit for her. Get your axe back. Get your axe back. No! Red herring. After repairing a generator for at least a second, it will be highlighted to you with an aura. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, and that's adrenaline. Okay, I knew that. Why are you staring at me? Why do you stare at me? You're too much. But I love that you own it. Like, that's how you should be. Own that shit. Take a chance on Hook. Okay. Ronnie told me this trick. Left cheek, right cheek, left cheek, right cheek.
Oh!
I don't even get a third chance. It's fine. I didn't realize I saved Arella's life. One of you needs, Arella needs to come save her twin. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. G Rising. You can say gay, it's fine. I already like accepted it from Automod, so it'll come out. I'm going in. Hurry up, girl. Save me right here. Oh, actually, I have Decisive Strike. Okay, actually, you can save me. You know what? Do what you gotta do. Wait a few days to go shopping. They have some cute merch coming out. Ooh, for Disney? That's exciting. Okay, let's go, 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 go. Thank you, Arella. You're the best. We have the same hair. Go, go, go. I have DS, so I'm gonna get her. Oh. I lost my DS. I'm death hooked, by the way. I'm gonna go downstairs. And I'm gonna go back upstairs. And I'm gonna get the hook. They take my whole paycheck. Okay, what merch are you looking to get at Disney? No, come here. Fucking Lara. Who made you the coochie boss? There's a hook there. No. Please. He went downstairs with a hook. He's underneath. Why is Fung taking a chase? I'm just gonna go around saving. I forgot how to balance landing. Why did she come back this way? Why did she come back this way? No! That was so lucky. Mind games. No! GG's. I should have taken that chance on the hook. There's this crop sweater. Ooh. He put me down. He wants Lara. He worried me. With Disneyland in person. Oh, that's cute. Is it like a dark brown, a chocolate brown? Like the Mori is scary. Can confirm. This is why I don't like Chaos Shuffle, because I don't really understand all my perks. I mean, I do know all those perks that I was using. I just should not have taken a chance on the hook. And I just messed up my DS, because like I shouldn't have been at Death Hook. Like I should have just tried to wait. It's cool. Next game.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed you.
Alright, I'm gonna BRB and I'm gonna go pee, but I'm looking for a match. Star, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Star, I saw the crop top. It is cute. It's like a sandstone, you know, like Grand Canyon orange, you know, like it's not like chocolate brown, which I think is really nice. get it. We're in a match. Brown is your favorite color to wear. That's such a good color. Brown's a great color. Wait, I think we want to play this game. How many flashlights do we have? How crazy is this gonna be? 3 flashlights? That's a little embarrassing. I'm gonna have to get the flashlight off. I'm gonna have to put a medkit on. Actually, I'm gonna put it to the left. Oh! I put a key! Used to wear brown every single day in middle school. I wore uniforms from 5th through high school. So I never had to think about my outfits, but we had to wear khaki in middle school, and no. We're blue and khaki. It was not cute. But I like brown. I love the color brown. I think like chocolate, like warm browns, like more reddish browns are nice. I have a key, guys. Fuck it. YOLO. You know what I mean? What does it do? Hold on. Increases of auras. Someone's thumb increases his charge. Okay. No one left behind. Interesting. Spine chill and stake out.
Where the hell are you going?
Oh, he's not chasing me.
I don't have time.
Bitch. Bitch ass toy. That's what that's all you are, is a toy. Imagine in middle school showing up monochromatic brown. Yeah, that'd be you look like a teddy bear. Let's see how far I can get. Yeah, because Jonah's already getting chased. The brown roller back. Yeah, let's go straight for this gen. Let's do it. Or not. Or not, Kate. Go get him. Goddamn, bro. I can't stop a gen for her. Where's even that hook? Oh my god, it's so far. We're gonna get 5 gen, bro. I'm gonna go right for that gen that he's working on over there. Oh wait, sorry. Come here. I thought I was done. Thank you. Sorry. I'm gonna go right for the gen. What gen was he working on? What gen was he working on? Fuck, they've all taken. Is it this gen? It might have been just gen. Guys, be so serious. This isn't even it. What's the gen he was working on? Oh my god, there it is. Oh my god, that scared me. I thought we were not gonna get this gen done. I'm gonna go for Hook. I'm just gonna Hook. I look away for 2 seconds to change the camera. That was funny. Now that was fun. Okay, now I can look at this. Wait, hold on. What does this do? Kind of forest. Cleanse totems. Getting close to the killer fills you with determination. For each 15 seconds you're standing in the killer's territory is not chase. Oh, I should do that more. Please heal me, please. Guys, we need to finish a gen. Also, Renato, what did you do to your hair? Let's gonna milk this. I'm gonna play Rivals. Okay, enjoy Rivals. I hope you enjoy the new season. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. And always stop by, always catch me up. I might not be a Swiftie, but I do care about what's going on in your life and like what's exciting you. Oh my god, he's a Chucky main. Look at that. Look at that little pendant. He's right there. Guys, are we about to lose? We are about to lose. He just hits us one by one. I'm just gonna go to the gen, I guess. Have fun, Star. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. I'm getting chased again. I'm not getting chased again. No, he's close to me. Oh, he's chasing Jonah. Jonah's about to die, bro. Fucking Jonah, bro. I'm gonna keep you on my phone. Yes, no, it's fine. Yes, yeah, of course. Just pop in between matches, you know? That's what I do sometimes, like, if I'm playing and I'm on Twitch. I'll just chime in like, hey, I'm doing this thing while you're playing, you know what I mean? It was a Mori from Chucky. They already got caught. I sure wish I had a key. Oh! Oh! He just beat her ass up! Renato's about to pop it. And I'm farming. Go after Renato. Nice. Sorry, Barry. You're gonna have to die today. I'm gonna go over here. I'm sorry, Barry. I got my little tokens. slugs. More him. Ew, what is he doing over there? Is he being nasty to that Renato? Oh, we're gonna get you up, girl. He was being gross. Go, go, go. Go, Renato, go. Go, 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 go. Come here. Come up here. They used everything. Oh my god! I'm about to die. That's fine.
About fucking time.
I shouldn't have saved him. You're weird, Chucky. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird for BMing. It's a Chaos Shuffle match. Relax. Like, it's so weird that he was being nasty to that Renato. Yeah, kill him. You're being so weird. Why is he being so weird? Like, you're being so weird. I'm so confused. Like, why be weird about that? It's just a... Like, you're literally... You won. We didn't even get gens done. We weren't even, like... really doing anything to him. I hit him with the pallet one time. At the beginning of the game. What a weirdo. Star, if you're still listening, make sure you check in. Use the check in with your points, with your channel points. I know you said I'm on your phone. I'm not even getting a bonus anymore for that. Oh, because it switched around. No wonder. Oh my god, it's killer for both? Are we about to do a killer match? Maybe we will. Fuck it, YOLO. I still have to do this freaking challenge. Excuse me. Let's go. Whee! Alright, let's try. Let's try killer match. Shall we? They're over there too. Hi, Sable. One. Okay, you're far now. I don't like this map at all. Please. I can hear her. Two. Damn, she is zooming. I just don't want to throw my hat at her. No, I can't. GG. Good job, Sable. I didn't even see if there were any flash shots. What is he doing? Oh, good. There's another pallet here. I hit that drum hard. Like the way she hit it was so funny to me. Like what are you, sir? No, sir. They're probably doing a gen. Boil over. Damn. Over here. I literally have Mad grip, is that what it's called? Tight grip? Something. I have to break this gen. I got her hook off. I'm gonna just break. The other gen was this one. I think that gen back there is being done. Someone's getting close to that gen. I'm gonna let them get the hooks off. Like I'm at a pretty big advantage. No need to rush the process. Just keep these gens a little they'll go back that way. Exactly what I thought. Ooh, good job. That's fine. Nice. You got stuck, bro. Oh, she's dead hard. Oh, nice. Use your dead hard so early. You guys still have 5 gens left. Use your dead hard like immediately. You still have 5 gens left, friend. I'm not even trying to tell you, friend. Look at that. I'm gonna go back to these gens. This one's broken. This one's the most broken. This one's getting done. I saw Steve on here. I haven't seen Dwight or Lori yet. I'm gonna get more hatchets. I haven't seen Dwight or Lori. Like, I don't even mean to be tunneling the Sable. She's just like there. They were doing a gen back here. Oh, was it this gen? This gen. I heard footsteps. I hear them right there. Right here. They're just bringing me right to the gens that are being worked on, unfortunately. Got Steve. Oh, it's Steve that I was following. Oh! Too high. I want him to jump. That's fine. He has to. He can't ball. That's what I need to do. It's okay, Steve. It's. Oh, I already hooked you. Like, I can't get you. GG. I can't get him. I have to literally. That was funny. Oh, he has boil over. I forgot. I forgot. They're gonna probably pop a gen now that I've been chasing. I mean, maybe these are the only gens that we're really working on. Oh, they're over here. Look at this. Oh, I found Lori! I don't mind hitting. I don't know what Lori went. But she's gonna take a gen. And she realized her teammates. She can't box. I'm just gonna go for this, like you. Get off that. I want to go back to the gen. I'm gonna go back this way. I'm gonna let Steve get his little thingy thing. Like, this gen is being worked on. All the gens have progress. I see people. I saw you, bro. Steve, why are you here? Bringing me to your teammates is insane. Whoa. Oh, wait. Why did they come over? What? You know, fuck you with the ball. It's fine. Get the gen done. The one gen. Girl. Another boil over. She's working on it right now. They got a second gen done. And I didn't mean to tunnel. Like, why did Steve take that chase? Like, Dwight should be taking a chase. Laurie could be taking a chase. And here's the Dwight. You know, Dwight's probably not taking a chase because he doesn't know how to take a chase. That's why. That's why. Because he doesn't know how. Where is he? Is it a boil over? No. He's afraid to take the chase. You should have taken the chase for your friend's friend. Like, it's okay to die and get a hook. Get a little hot shit. I don't remember what gens they were working on. They were working on this one back here. It's still broken. Sable? Girl, what are you doing here? I thought I lost you. Get out of here. You're better than this, Sable. You're better. It's okay, Sable. You tried. And that's all we could ask of you. GG's. They got 3 gens done. I mean, Laurie might make it out. Laurie might make it out. To be honest. I need to get this Noed off for sure. Look at that. Laurie might not make it. Will Laurie take this chase for her friend, for her teammate? Will Laurie take it? No, maybe not. Oh, look. Drop the pallet. Go down. Oh, Laurie is gonna take the chase. How heroic. Altruistic of you. Altruism. GG's, Laurie. You tried. The grass is just so tall. Dwight must be over there. I'm gonna let him get the unhook. I just can't see through their grass. Like, I wish he would try to help his friend. Oh, he's close to here. He's over here somewhere. He did get the unhook. Wait, I heard whispers, so he must have been going around. Oh, Laurie. Laurie, my dear. Where is Dwight, friend? Oh. Dwight must be around here. I'm looking for Dwight. You want Dwight to win? I'm so shocked. I'm gonna just put you right over here. He must be back here. He could be up here. I thought I heard him. Huh. I just want the Dwight. Are you gonna let the Dwight win? I think the Laurie lets the Dwight go. Or not. Let's see. They're in the truck, bro. Get off. Go. I just want the Dwight, bro. Dwight, come here. Oh! Why did it swing so high? Okay. That's not what I saw for myself. I'm just messing with them at this point. I'm just gonna put him over here. And then I'm gonna go get the lorry. I'm gonna go break that gen that she's working on. Maybe catch her on the way to get the hook. She's not far. But like, who survives is really the question at this point. Vault. I hear her. I hear her. I heard her, I swear to God. Okay, now I got them both though. Ooh, because I just got him off the hook. Oh! Dwight is trying it. Run, Dwight, run! I'm going to Shaq. I wasn't even behind you, friend. He's inside. That's what I got you last time. Girl. I'm just gonna call it quits. If Lori gets out, GG's, you know? That's how I feel about it. If Lori gets out, GG's. I feel like you guys, I don't know where you guys messed up, but you guys were literally rushing gens so well. I found Hatch immediately. Okay, I see my head, like, she's around here somewhere. There you go. GG's, guys. So close, Lori. GG's. GG's, guys. You guys did really well. You guys almost got out. I think the Sable kind of messed y'all up. The Sable and the Steve doing the most. That was fun. I love Huntress. I really wish I didn't have to play with Noed, but I'm trying to get that challenge done. Not this place. They're downstairs. They're upstairs. They are downstairs. Where do you go? There you go. I really tried to read him there too. Ooh, over here. Not in here, but close. That must be a perk. Because how am I seeing things? Explain this to me. Upstairs. They got scared. You don't even know where I'm at, girl. You don't even know where I am, bitch. Wow, why would you do that? It's so weird. Wait, Nico tried on hook? How is he at second hook? Guys, what are we doing? Upstairs. No, they came downstairs, but I want to go upstairs. I want to get that gen that she was working on. Where is everybody? Hi, Sable. Oh, finally got a gen done. I don't want to go after you guys. I just want to scare you so you're not healing. You're right underneath me. See, I don't really know where anything is in this map. Like, I don't need a tunnel. That Nico has, that Leon has 2 hooks on him. Oh, I fucked up there. Oh my god. Not swinging and missing. Ashy boy. Dirty Dangles, you're mine. Boil over. Golly gee, why are we playing like this? This is the second boil over I've seen. Two gens. You got the second gen done. I'm gonna go hit that one. Nancy still hasn't been healed. I really don't know where that gen is. They're upstairs healing. They're upstairs healing. I like coming up this back stairway. Oh. It's this gen they did. I hear her. She's gonna get through the fucking window. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. I'm built like that. I'm sorry. I like crowd control. I don't want you to be vaulting. You know? I don't want you to just be vaulting through windows. They're upstairs. They went upstairs. Coming. Leon! I will just stand there, I don't care. I hear you in here. It's Ash! What? I'm gagged. Vault, vault. Silly man. Gotcha. Another. Oh, this is the boil over. Hold on. This is the hook I need to go to. I hear him. He vaulted. I guess. She must be taking the chase for the Leon. Sorry, Sable. Oh, there was a hook right here. I didn't notice. Where'd he go? Oh, he just killed himself, like just literally offed himself. Poor Ash. There's Leon. We got the Sable. Doesn't know better than to go upstairs. I haven't seen you in a while, Nancy. The fact that Nancy never got healed, like, what are these teammates doing? They're working on that gen up there. Heavy. The unhook. Somebody's working on this gen. got the unhook, but where do they go is really the question. I like just doing this. They healed. But do I catch them? Leon is still hurt. They're not far. They're here. Hey, Nancy. Sable and Nancy on the same generator. I'm gonna hit this. Nancy, you're all hurt, bro. At the pallet. GG's. GG's. Sorry, Nancy. Where did that? Did I hit that gen? I think I did hit the generator. I hope they found each other. Leon and Sable. Check back down there. Oh. GG's. Is Sable gonna make it out? I didn't hear it. I'm listening. Sable, will you get it before me? Sable's near me. Sable's upstairs. I think I lapped. Is she there? She's there. Get it, Sable, get it. Get it, Sable, get it. I can't get up. Where is she? Sable, get it. Sable, come here. I don't know where she went. Sable, I was looking for you. Okay. Does she have a key? What does she do? How does she get out? Oh, there she is. Found you. Yes. You're mine. Here, I'll let you out. I'll let you out. Look at this. Oh, how about that? Here, I'll try again. I'll let you out. I'll let you out. You're being resilient. You know what I mean? Go, Sable. GG's, Rainbow. GG's. Wow, that was a long ass motherfucking game. I felt like I was locked in. It's really easy with Killer being able to see like all the gen locations. Like I feel like with Survivor, it's so hard to like, if you don't memorize a map, like you don't know where things are. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Some maps I know better than others, so like I just have like an advantage on some maps over others. I really don't want to play another Killer match. I love being a Survivor. It makes me feel so good at the game. I have Iridescent Head. Should I try an Iridescent Head game? No, because I need this no ad, bro. Maybe I just do like... Oh, I like that. I really don't like that I have to link the whole like hatchet with the costume. I wish she was able to like take her pieces off, but it is what it is. This is probably gonna be my last game. It's already midnight. Depending on how long this game goes. But all my games have been going like 20 minutes. So I think I'm gonna hop off soon. No, 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 no. I like this map a lot too. Oh! Where do they go? Let's see. It's a lot. All of you are over here. This is so strange. Oh, good job. I did lose you, Loki. You can't. She can't vault. I just wanted to hit one of them so they can get off the gen. There are about to be 3 people on this gen. There's no gen in there. Gen down here. Ooh, if I was just a little higher. Good try, yummy. The gen is finished. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. I only have 1 damage. I broke a pallet. They are rushing that gen back there. This gen is literally being finished. Holy. I got that one, and I need to break this before I take another chase. Oh, I did break it, huh? I'm gonna go back to this. The Kate is over here lurking. I'm gonna go back and hit. Oh, she never got it off? Okay. I'm gonna go this way. There's no gen over here. I heard something. I heard something. Pretty sure. They are literally almost finished with this. I'm just gonna break first. And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go down here to this one. I hear some bitch coughing. she have life? It was life. We got that one up there done. Somebody next to me. Drop the pallet. Somebody's behind me, trying to get this save. I hit you. I knew you were there. Do you all want to get hit? I'm so confused. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make sure I grab a hatchet. CJ, welcome in. Hi. Are you done with your stream, friend? How was it? Are you exhausted? I get so exhausted for. Of course, I love hanging out. Twitch is literally where I go to hang out. Oh, she's just better, bro. She wants that life. I'm so bad at killer matches. Come on. Oh, not today, yummy. So exhausted. Where is she? Oops. She is not doing a good job of blocking her. Have a good night. I'm glad you enjoyed your stream though. I know it was like long, but it's worth it. Like you were able to hang out with the homies, spend a good day off with your friends. Like that's all it is, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, Blue. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you for popping in. I'ma just push them. They're at 2 gens. Yeah, that Laura should have took that hit for you, bitch. Look, I'm gonna hit this. And I have Noed. I mean, I need to get this Noed tome off. Let's see. All of them hurt right here. Look at this. 1. You dead hard? You want that? No, she just got off hook. I'm gonna pick up this. She has a flashlight, this girl. She gonna, Jorge can afford a hook. Okay, Jorge? Take your hook. Why didn't she take this? Why didn't she sit on that pallet? They still trying to rush this gen. Nope. They've moved on to bigger and better things, like this generator. Sable, where you going, girl? Oh! I missed by a long shot. That's fine. Oh! No one saw that. Oh, I see them. Look at them. All healed up. I'm gonna get you, Blue. It's fine. I know you want the chase. You want it. Like, what are you doing, girl? I want her to vault. Take the pallet. Like, what are you doing, friend? Friend, now friend. What are we doing, friend? I'm not gonna lie, it's hard at the end game, you know what I mean? There are only so many places to go. I'm just gonna break all these pallets. They're working on this. They really wanted this gen finished. Look, Sable was on this gen. Do you see that? They wanted to finish the gen. Sable's here. I might just have to kill Sable too. She's already. Hi Sable. That's where the pallet is, right? She doesn't throw pallet down. I want her to take the window vault. She might. Shaq is a hard chase for me. Look, haha, it's Kate. Okay, Katie girl, there's no more pallets over here. Oh my god, the both of you! Never, never. Oh, friend, survivor found. There's a pallet here. Oh, she went down. There's a pallet down here. There is no pallet down here. Oh yeah, there is. I want her off the pallet. Lay the pallet down. Nice, good job. Are we gonna play around this pallet? I'm gonna go around this way and see what happens. She went upstairs. I didn't even go that way. Oh, you guys are better. Nice. I had to flick there. They got that gen done. They've been trying to get that gen done this whole match, friends. They got both of them done. Here's my no-ed chance. My chance to get the no-ed kills. My chance. Do they know that? Do they know where the no-ed is? Alright, I'm gonna go for. Nobody was here. I'm gonna go over here. See. I'm gonna look at my. Oh, they're definitely. Look at this. Look at this, Lara. Does she have sprint burst too? I want her to turn around. They didn't get the totem. Let's see. Do they get out? Let's see, let's see. No, how do they get out? I don't understand no ed, I still don't. How do they get out? Am I not supposed to hook? Am I supposed to just let them be knocked? I still don't understand it. GG's. Some good games. Thank you for being